What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Advice from a Call Center Geek, the Call Center Contact Center podcast. We try to give you some actionable items to take back in your contact center, improve the overall quality, improve the agent experience, hopefully improve your customer experience as well. My name is Tom Laird. I'm the CEO here at Expivia Interaction Marketing. How's everybody doing? I wanted to do kind of kick off our first LinkedIn Live with an AMA today. So again, I have a topic on ChatGPT that I would like to talk about if there's no questions, but any questions that you may have on the call center, technology, culture, anything that has to do with the contact center, I am more than happy to answer. Just kind of hop on and comment on LinkedIn and shoot in your question, and we'll see if we can help you guys out a little bit. As people are kind of coming on here, I wanted to talk a little bit about ChatGPT. I think the thing has been not overplayed from how awesome it is, but overplayed of people talking about it. So I didn't want to be just another voice. So probably maybe should have talked about it a little earlier, but I think we can all see the impact that this thing is having. I think we can all see that it's not just ChatGPT, but now, offshoots of what is going on in that kind of AI space. And I did want to talk about some things that I think could be a little bit more unique. I'm not going to talk about, chatbots. I think we can understand that there's going to be an impact here with how chatbots and the intuitiveness of the AI with those guys. I think we can understand that, analytics and workforce management and the tools that AI is currently having an impact in. I think we're now on the highway of taking those things to a total different level. So I wanted to kind of talk about some unique things or things that I would like to see, or some things that maybe are a little bit more out there, to see if we can maybe stem a little conversation, from that as well. So, the first thing is I would be a little nervous if I owned a language line right now. I think that, if these type of AI, which I'm sure they already are, there's just not a really great product out there yet, other than like Google Translate and things like that. But there's going to be a company that is going to do multilingual processing with this, and do real time, kind of changing the language into English, changing it into Indian, back and forth, changing it to, wherever that contact center is, whatever those agents speak, right? You're going to, I think, be able to really see. It's kind of like the takeoff on the SANAS, the SANAS. I think I'm saying that company right. Where they're kind of using AI to kind of overlay voice. So maybe, a voice from India sounds like it's a Scottish accent, calling into England, or doing customer support from Scotland. So I think those things are going to be a really cool and unique way that this type of AI and ChatGPT and again those type of offshoots can have an issue. I did a demo, and I don't really want to talk about the company yet. I don't know if I have permission to talk about them, but they're an offshoot of Carnegie Mellon, and what they have kind of come up with is a way to use voice to show, I guess, kind of human characteristics. And they're actually going to come on the podcast. So I'm really excited to have them on in the next couple of weeks and months. So, using my voice, they can say, this is a, 46 to 47-year-old male. He's 6'2", and give those type of characteristics, which I think what they have shown to be a little bit more, a little bit better than what, voice authentication and those type of things, because they're still not 100% correct. So there's some overlaying of the AI and what is happening there from a voice authentication standpoint, from the different things that our voice and that these smart computers can actually start to pick up that obviously we as humans can't. It can listen for certain emotions. I mean, we're starting to hear that with sentiment. I mean, I see sentiment scoring really going through the roof. I really personally think, I've been talking about this for years, CSAT in surveys and NPS, they're going to be gone. Like you're not going to hear about them. And I think starting this year, and the technology is going to be the rater of a good customer experience. Talking more about sentiment scoring, talking about are your agents using proper word choices, understanding what type of tone is coming. I think those are really important things. And if we can start to even hear tone, where AI makes me the most excited from a contact center person is in different types of proactive customer support. That's what we all want to get to, right? We want to be able to, and when I say proactive customer support, I mean it in a couple different ways. Number one is when a customer, before they get to an agent, that we're taking as much information and data as we possibly can and utilizing it to make the customer experience better. And we're understanding their sentiment, their tone. We're looking at all their previous history. What have they called us before? Is there an outstanding ticket that is happening right now that they're probably calling about because we were not able to resolve it on the first call? Taking all of this data, and right now it's almost like we can only pick and choose what we want to do from a routing standpoint. There's some things we can do from sentiment and tone in the IVR, but maybe we haven't integrated it fully into the CRM, or we're integrating to the CRM and we're pulling all that data and we're routing off that. But if we take this holistic approach of why is a customer calling us, what are their needs, who should they be talking to, can we get them to the best? We always talk about getting our reps to the best agent, right? Or getting our customers to the best agent. And that has taken steps, right? We went from, and again, I just posted something back on the call center of 1985, right? Where there was basically no thought into this, right? Calls would just come like on a daisy chain, and whoever was next. And it is what it was. And then we went to kind of the skills-based routing method, to where we were looking at that our agents who were maybe a little bit more intuitive, understood the product, understood the process a little bit more compared to a newer rep. Different skills were being trained for a specific thing, like sales compared to tech support, compared to maybe logistics or actual customer support. So we tried to get our customers segmented into these different piles of agents that we thought could help them the best. Now, we move to 2023, we're starting to integrate our data, right? And we've been integrating data for a while, but really starting to use data as a real routing source. And now taking the next step with AI and being able to figure out things that a human being can't do on their own. Again, with tone, with how people are talking, with looking at this actual sentiment of that customer, tying it in with all that data, and really giving a cool customer experience, when it comes to getting that rep to the right agent, right? So maybe it's the agent that they talk to last, right? And we could do that now. Maybe it's getting them to, we're noticing from their tone that they're, maybe from New York City, maybe that's a bad stereotype, and they can speak really quick. So we want to match them up. In Contact, talked about this the last, maybe it was 2 interactions ago that they had live. So say it was 2018, 2019, talked about predictive behavior routing, right? So basically where we would take somebody's personality, understand their profiles of their personality, route them to an agent that had that same type of personality. And I think now we're starting to see that kind of on steroids with some of the things that are going to happen, from all this kind of AI revolution. We don't talk about augmented reality or virtual reality, but I think that there's a lot of things that this is going to have and be able to kind of ramp that process up very, very quickly. Maybe even a little bit more augmented reality than from a virtual reality standpoint. But with the computing processing that's happening right now, with all of the kind of the unique and cool things that are happening from this AI standpoint, that's the next I think natural bridge, right, to get us into something that, and I'm not talking about like metaverse, like walking around like I was kind of talking about, but being able to utilize AI and this processing power. We talked about 5G and kind of maybe the real impact of what that will have as well. So from a customer experience standpoint, I can actually show you things, right, and show you what's broken. I think that, those are some of the things that you'll start to see. Obviously, agent assist, anything that has to do with transcription and with data that a customer and agent are talking to. We are tracking now all of that and have been tracking it really well. But now with AI, we're starting to make better insights into how to utilize that data, right? Do we prompt for a cross sell? Do we prompt for an upsell? Is this the KMS? Now that's kind of how agent assist now, right? Is this the KMS article that maybe we want to read or send to the customer? But now I think, you're going to start to get even more intuitive to the actual fixes of what can happen, and think about how quickly those calls can now happen, instead of like maybe reading or say, hey, let me email you this, this document, to really have the exact fix for every single product in a full cataloger, and a ton of SKUs, right? SKUs. I think it is something that will be extremely exciting as well. So again, there's a lot here. There's a lot to unpack. We have no idea how this is going to, impact things that we haven't thought about. I've been thinking constantly about, again, the NFT space, the blockchain space, super interested in that kind of stuff. And I think you're starting to see a little bit of a comeback with some of the crypto stuff settling down a little. NFT prices have kind of gone back up a little bit. Crypto has gone back up a little bit. And I think you're starting to see a lot of those kind of use cases that were just money grabs getting out of the space. And now there's some really cool projects, from gaming to, retail to art, that are starting to really come back into the space. And it'll be very interesting to see. There is a project that I own, Alethea. I can't think of the name. Alethea, I believe is what it is. And they were starting to do this before. Basically, you would train an NFT, right, to speak, and they had an AI engine behind it, so that you could train this thing to become your personal assistant. And I think now when you see like a ChatGPT, that virtual avatar on your computer. Now we're going to get to the point, I think we're going to have robots, right? But for right now, to have that virtual avatar, remember Word had that painful, it was the oh my God, the paperclip that always like pop up and like give you suggestions, right? And everybody hated it, so they kind of got rid of it. But I think you're going to see like an actual intuitive, awesome, assistant that's going to be integrated into all of your data sources, from your email to your calendar to all of the work that you've done in Word, and understand really your holistic working and outside of work approach, and be able to talk to you, and then you be able to talk to it like a ChatGPT, like we're typing in right now and asking questions and having it come up with specific things. I mean, that's basically, the kind of the chatbot of, I don't want to say tomorrow, maybe today. I think you'll start to see that as well, on websites, right? So not just like the little chat box where we're going to type stuff in, but having an actual avatar that is the liaison for this website, and having conversations with it about different products, and having it being able to bring products to you and show you. And, that's the kind of the really cool thing that I think, how this thing could evolve into. So I'm kind of excited to kind of think about some of those types of things, and how to evolve, right? This is a huge point in time for the BPOs, a huge point in time for contact centers, and who's going to kind of fight the technology. And I probably was one of them who fought it to a certain extent, but I don't think I can deny it anymore. And so now it's how do you implement this for our customers? How do you implement it for the future? What R&D do you want to do? Because there's so many different paths to go down. And, what do you want to be good at, I think is the question. And there's a lot of roll of the dice with this of where contact centers are, where they're going to, who's fighting it, who's not fighting it. And then again, from a strategic standpoint, what do we want to invest in from a technology standpoint? to stay relevant, right? Because this is an opportunity. Some people think it's the scariest thing ever for a contact center outsourcer, but I think it's a huge opportunity to really revolutionize what we do as a business, what we do as an industry, to become relevant or stay relevant in this time. There's so many things that I think human beings will still need to have their touch on. I mean, I can really see now. I talked about this on LinkedIn, where if you have a verified human thought, right? It's not from a chatbot or a ChatGPT that gets some kind of check mark, right? Like, we might be getting to that point. And I think you're going to see that with customer support as well, where there's going to be companies that are going to say, listen, we are staying with the human being. We understand it's going to cost a little bit more, but these human beings now are going to have to be extremely high-end associates, give extremely well thought out, high-end customer support. And I like that. I think that helps the industry a ton. And, to have kind of individuals or companies that are basically vouching for that and saying, hey, we have human customer support, like, come to us. I think that, there is a use case for both of these from kind of the technology side and here. And I think that this thing has come faster than I thought it was going to. There's people out there like Chris Crosby. He's kind of been warning everybody about this, and maybe I've had my head in the sand, but I think that there's a lot to this that is coming extremely fast, and it's exciting and scary kind of all at the same time. And I think everybody's trying to figure out, again, how to utilize this stuff. But I think it's pretty cool. And I think the use cases, if we can become good at it, so if my company can be really good at it, we become an asset for companies that aren't good at it or haven't really thought this stuff through. So that's kind of where, my thought process is how do we think this through? How do we get good at this stuff? Where do we find the use cases for it? And then, I think we stay relevant in that. So I don't know. That's kind of my ramble on the whole ChatGPT thing and where technology is moving. It's funny. I just did, I think in December or maybe in November, I did a, technology, like things I think are going to happen in 2023. And I probably have to go redo that whole thing, because it's not progressive enough. I think I was almost too conservative, and I thought I went pretty far out on a limb. So kind of interesting. So, all right, guys, that's kind of what I got for you. Appreciate it. Hopefully that provides at least some insight. All I'm trying to do, I think, with this episode is get you to think a little bit, because I know I surely am every single night about this stuff. I'll talk to you guys next week.